You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk more about Caitlin Clark's absence and the impact this is felt. That's being felt around the league, and even in Indiana, it's going to be a big impact. Okay, I did a video the other day. They were talking about the impact of Caitlin Clark on the WNBA being very close to $1 billion this year. And now she's out, we know, a minimum of 2 weeks. All right? And luckily the video came out yesterday of her shooting threes, and I thought, okay, well, maybe this is just a grade 1. Maybe she will be back right after 2 weeks or after 3 weeks, and it won't be the upwards of 6 weeks that has been floating around out there. Now, where this really becomes an issue for the WNBA is all the people that flood into either Indianapolis or one of these visiting cities, paying all this money, paying up for tickets, and at the end of the day, deciding to not go, all right? Calling the whole trip off. Now, before we jump into that, let's just jump into this. It won't take long, but 2.22 million viewers tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark and the Fever take on the Liberty. So, we've had a couple of nationally, I mean CBS or ABC games / ESPN. One was 2.4 million. The other was 2.22 million. Caitlin Clark's landing some massive television ratings. And this is what is really impressive. The game peaked at 3.24 million viewers, became the 6th most watched WNBA regular season or playoff game since 2001. Think about that. The 6th highest rated game in 24 years. That's something else. It really is. And that shows you the impact that she's going to have. Right now, I promise you one thing. Advertisers are freaking the hell out. The advertisers are like, damn, we had space for a Caitlin Clark game, and now it's gone. So over here at USA Today, Christine Brennan, and she is a really good journalist that follows women's sports. She is the journalist that they tried to cancel last year because she had the unmitigated nerve to ask questions about the eye gouge from Dejanay Carrington onto Caitlin Clark, and then next thing you know, the internet exploded. They wanted one of the most respected women's journalists to be fired. She's been an advocate for women's sports forever. Didn't care. They turned on her just like that. And by the way, she's kind of woke too. Didn't matter. They tried to cancel her immediately. And some were saying, really and truly, when you start looking at her resume, some people were saying she is the most distinguished women's basketball journalist that there is in existence right now. It didn't matter to them. They tried because they thought it was an attack on Dejanay Carrington that she asked the questions, the hard questions we wanted to know. She did a breakdown on the impact of the absence of Caitlin Clark. And I'm not going to read this whole article, so go check it out, but we're going to read this first part because it tells you a lot. John Copek, a salesman in Colorado Springs, Colorado, had grand plans for coming this weekend. He paid about $3,000 for flights, hotel rooms, and 4 tickets to take his wife, 14-year-old daughter, and her basketball teammate to Caitlin Clark's game May 30th against the Sun in Indianapolis. On May 26th, Copek read on social media that Clark had a strained left quad, would be out for at least 2 weeks. He spoke to his wife. They decided right then and there to cancel their flights and their hotel rooms and give their tickets to a friend in Indianapolis and look at the Fever's August schedule for another game to attend. Quote, once I found out Caitlin wasn't playing, It didn't make sense for us to fly to Indianapolis. Of course not. Copek said in a phone interview, "We are Caitlin fans before Fever fans. She's the biggest draw. That's who the girls want to see. That's who these families are coming to see." That was the whole point of going to Indy, seeing Caitlin Clark. When she was injured, we thought, let's just postpone until August. Copek and his family are not alone. Ticket prices for the next 4 Fever games on the secondary market are plummeting as fans, as well as the WNBA itself, begin to grapple with the reality that the biggest draw in the history of women's basketball and one of the greatest attractions in all of sports, men's and women's, will not be around for a while. It has happening most dramatically with tickets for the June 7th Fever Sky game at the 23,500 seat United Center in Chicago, where Clark is such an overwhelming draw that ticket prices have fallen more than 300% in less than 2 days. I did a video yesterday, just yesterday, that tickets had fell 71%. They've dropped off. I mean, I thought 71% was dropping off a map. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Hell, God, can you imagine the WNBA, these games? They're on national TV and some of these large road buildings, how bad it's going to look on TV with all of these empty seats they've moved to. It's going to look real bad. Real bad. I can personally confirm the pronounced change in interest in Fever games without Clark. A week ago, I bought 4 tickets on StubHub to take my sports-playing nieces to the Fever Mystics game in Baltimore. The tickets in the same row are now less than half of what I paid. I can only imagine what they would cost by game time. Perhaps they'll be giving them away. And yes, we are still going to the game, so they're still going to go. But that's a game that's been moved to a 14,000-seat arena, and it's going to be ugly. And the reason this is going to get so ugly and have such a huge impact is because of just like the guy in Colorado. For example, me. Let's say I bought a ticket and said, I'm going to take me a road trip. I'm going to go to Indianapolis because those Fever games, they look awesome on TV. The atmosphere comes across, at least on television, as very NBA playoff-like. And it looks like a great atmosphere, and I'm like, that'd be a good road trip. Indianapolis, I could drive up there, stay on the outskirts of town in a nice hotel somewhere, Uber into the stadium, and Uber back to and I don't like driving in the city, folks. So anyway, my point is, I want to experience that. That's why I'd rather drive up there to a game than go to Dallas and see them play. And I know where that American Airlines Arena is, and it's a utter cluster F to get to in Dallas. Point being, a lot of people are coming into Indianapolis from all over the country for these games. And for some of them, they will only get to see Caitlin Clark once. They're taking their families. It's kind of like part of a vacation. All of that's over. And I feel terrible for those people too, by the way. That sucks. Some of them may have literally planned like part of their little summer vacation or whatever around going to see Caitlin Clark. And now they're not going to get to do it. That's the suck-ass part of all this. Outside of all of us missing out on Caitlin Clark playing, it's for the people that had this thing planned like they did. They've got the luxury of actually trying back in August. They will be a lot of people that won't get another chance till maybe next year or might never get another chance. This is a huge, huge impact on the league. It really is. But the Fever are going to take a hell of an L here for a while, too. Tell me what you think. Big ratings, big attendance. Thy name is Caitlin Clark. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.